So on the football front, as you guys know already, the SEC decided to stay at 8 games for, again, people need to hear this, 1 additional year. That's it, 1 extra year. Some of the reactions were not surprising. For example, I saw Tim Brando, and I like Tim Brando. He seems like a good guy. I like him. He calls games well. He's done it for a long time. He called the vote disturbing. Disturbing was how he described it. Yeah, disturbing. Yeah, a league deciding
Very disturbing.
keep the same number of conference games they play. That's disturbing. Yeah. I'd love to know what you think about like real life stuff. But anyway, Danny Cannell, who shouldn't surprise anybody, said, quote, "No surprise the SEC is staying at 8 conference games and allows them to prop up records and ultimately get more teams into the playoff. Every other conference should follow their lead until they go to 9. Here's the thing, Danny. It would change literally nothing if they all did that. The SEC is 14-3 versus the field in the college football playoff. And as you guys know, 3 different teams, schools, whatever, have won the last 4 national championships. Again, the SEC is 14-3 versus the field. Here are the other conferences. The ACC is 6-5. The Big Ten is 3-7. The Big 12 is 1-5. The Pac-12 is 1-2. Notre Dame's been twice. They've lost both games, 0-2. In the AAC, who made it with Cincinnati, they did show well, but they are 0-1. Just how these people, and I know Cannell's a troll and he wears turtlenecks, and I get his shtick, but he's not the only person that has said these things. You've had Rittenberg at ESPN and on and on and on. These people think that what's holding the Big Ten back is an extra game. They are 3-7 against the field in the playoff, whereas the SEC is 14-3. And they know that because they've watched the games. They've seen them. They look at the recruiting classes. They look at the NFL draft, and they still are intentionally obtuse to the fact that one league playing 8 conference games plus a Power 5 game still has the most difficult schedules compared to every other league with 9 plus 1. How do I know that? Let's look at strength of schedule. The SEC has 9 of the top 22 most difficult schedules in college football. You know what that is by percentage? 40%. 40% of the top 22 most difficult schedules in college football belong to one conference. But how is that? It's just, they only play 8 conference games.
It really is maddening to see everybody forget that the SEC does play 9 Power 5 games. They play ACC teams. They play Big 12 teams. They play Big 10 teams. They do it every year. They have done it every year since 2016. It's been 9 Power 5 games. So, like, what are we talking about here? It's the same number of Power 5 games that Ohio State, that Clemson, that Oklahoma play. It's the same number.
Look at Michigan's schedule. I mean, give me a break on Michigan's schedule. But anyway, I mean, the intentional ignorance of reality is kind of baffling to me, especially knowing that it's one more year. Like, again, Ross Dellinger is, at this point, the most prominent newsbreaker when it comes to this kind of stuff in college football media. He gets this stuff better than anybody else. He reports on it better than anybody else. His sources are better than everybody else's. He's the man at this. He's great at this. He went on with our friends at Cole Kubelik's show this morning at Jocks. And he went so far to when they asked him about, well, how are they going to determine the schedule? He talked about it as if it's just for 2024. Like they're going to make the schedule that gets released in 12 days, and that's all it's going to be. They're not even going to talk about rotations and stuff. The schedule for 2024 is a one-off, basically identical to COVID, when they just kind of created a schedule out of thin air. That's what they're doing for 24, and then the rotation with 9 starts in 25. And he reports it, has reported it all week long on a huge platform, and is telling everybody, hey, it's just one more year. They're going to try, and they're going to succeed in getting more money. And until they know for sure, some of these schools aren't going to vote to add until they know how much money. In the meantime, for 2024, they're going to create a unique schedule where all the rivalries are going to be preserved, and it's going to be fine. And it's like people hear that, but they don't listen to it. They're like my toddler. He hears me. He doesn't listen to me. He knows what I'm saying. He doesn't listen to what I'm saying.
I felt that one.
Whew, we're in that stage now where he's smart enough to know better but does it anyway. Yeah, we've hit that wall. That's a fun wall.
I hear you. Nah, not really. That was an exaggeration.